Hey, my friends, it's Paulie A. How we doing? Let's take a drive. I'm on my way home. I was working out of town, but now I get to go back to my sanctuary, my house, see my family, my dogs, my wife. That's what life's all about, right? I want to talk to you about what's going on here. Lucky and Sober platform. Lucky and Sober Life and Recovery podcast, where we learn, live, and love every minute of our recovery and our life. Right? That's what it's all about. That's what I'm trying to do. I want to share my experience, strength, and hope, and the things that I've been through and all that I've learned, not only through recovery of the 12-step programs. I've been fortunate enough. I sobered up with AA because it was the only game in town. Then came NA. I've done some CA. I've done a lot of A's here. Uh, then I did Al-Anon and some Nar-Anon. So I have a very deep understanding of the 12 steps. They're near and dear to my heart. But that's not the only thing what we're going to talk about. And that's not the only thing that I've learned. I took that recovery and became a peer specialist for the state of Wisconsin, right? And that is about the lived experience. I was able to take decades of lived experience and use that to qualify, get some training, learn more about some mental health issues that I didn't know really anything about, and become a peer specialist. Then I also had the opportunity to go through the CCAR recovery coach training. So I'm also a recovery coach. So I'm taking all that because I have a passion about helping people. I love watching individuals become the hero of their own story. And that's what I'd like to do, is help you become the hero of your life, your family, and your story. I'm just a guy. I'm not a guru. I'm not saying I have all the answers. What I have is a library of experiences, over 4 decades of experience, over 37 years of continuous abstinence, 28 years of being off of nicotine, made it through a bunch of hard times. And each of those I learned something. And that's what I want to share. The only difference between me and you is that vast library I have. But each of us build a library every single day. You have a library of experiences that you can draw upon to help you through. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear about some of your experiences. They can help me. I'm always still learning, right? I haven't stopped. I'm trying to live every day to the fullest and try to love every moment of it, because it is a gift. One of the things that I've learned throughout the years is that it is a gift. You have to work for it. It's not given freely. There are things that you have to do. You have to suit up, show up, and be part of your own life, right? And we'll talk about that. Let's start out. I'd like to start out about why I call it lucky and sober. The lucky part comes from the Stoic idea of luck, and that is when opportunity meets preparation. I was first introduced to recovery at the age of 17. Uh, my life was pretty unmanageable, and the state said, "You can't manage it, so we're going to manage it for you." So I was institutionalized, and through that experience, I was introduced to the 12 steps. I had no idea what they were. I had no idea about alcoholism or addiction. In fact, back then, they told us to call ourselves chemically dependent, because every chemical, every drug, alcohol, has a chemical base, right? So that's what we called ourselves, chemically dependent. Confused everybody. The language keeps changing now. They want us The professionals say it's a disorder. You have substance use disorder. Well, I don't know if it's a disorder or not. I'm not going to argue this. What I do know, it is a disease. It's chronic, it's progressive, and it's fatal. And I truly believe in a disease model. So we're going to be talking about that. I also believe that it's threefold. It's a physical disease, uh, a mental obsession, and a spiritual malady. Those I do believe. So I was eventually at the age of 26 lucky in the sense of willing to take the opportunity that was given to me one more time to be given the answers, the solution to my problems, the directions on how to live on a day by day basis in my head without the use of drugs or alcohol, how to deal with life, and the support system, the fellowship. And all those are so important. Each one is a key component to staying not only sober and clean, but also to have some sanity and serenity, right? Because you can be dry and still miserable, and I know I was there, and it's no fun. It's no fun. So what this platform is about is sharing those experiences. And if you're having any of that experiences, if you find yourself in recovery but stagnant, uh, bored, miserable, restless, irritable, discontent, uh, just trying to figure out why why should I stay clean and sober if I'm miserable? How do I find happiness, peace, serenity uh, in sobriety? How do I stay hopeful? We're going to talk about those things. And if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the comments or DM me because you're not alone. Getting clean and sober, getting abstinent is the easy part. Living a life of recovery, now that's the challenge. And that's the challenge that we all take on every single day. And it's the challenge that I hope I can help guide you through. I want to make a disclaimer. As I said earlier, I worked the 12 steps and all the different things. And throughout the years, I want to make this disclaimer about language, right? I don't want you to focus exactly on my language because sometimes it may get confusing or it may seem a little bit different than what you're used to and in a different aspect. I mean, there's AA sobriety, there's NA clean time, there's clean and sober, which some NA fundamentalists don't believe you should put them both together. There's I'm an addict, I'm an alcoholic. I don't want you to focus on the linguistic differences. I don't want you to shoot the messenger and then miss the message. The principles on all those programs are the same. The principles of recovery are basic and simple. We're just complicated people that look for excuses not to apply them to our lives. I mean, that's what I did for those 9 years. The solution was always there. The principles were there. The program's easy. You do it if you can stay clean and abstinent and sober for one day. You can do it for the rest of your life. It's just wash, rinse, and repeat the same steps that you took. You know, recovery is about setting your life up in such a situation from the moment you wake up that you give yourself the best opportunity to survive, to stay sober and clean, and to find happiness, purpose, and a meaningful life and enjoy it, right? That's what the steps are about. That's what recovery is about. That also is what cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is about. Smart recovery. They're doing the same thing. In smart recovery, I have a little bit of knowledge of it. They, they teach you techniques and give you diagrams to follow so that when you're triggered or when you find yourself in certain situations, you're able to then reframe yourself through using these tools that they give you. 12 steps. That's what they're doing. They're giving you the information and the tools so that you could reframe the situation and not let your life spiral out of control. The key to long term sobriety, the key to just daily sobriety is finding a set of principles, guidelines, tools, whatever you want to call them, and whatever combination of those that you need to give yourself the best chance to succeed today. That's all. And that you will surrender to. You know, in throughout my recovery, I've changed. You know, I came into recovery very religious, bringing the religion that I was brought up in. There was good things to it. It was principled. There was a lot of wonderful things, but there was also things that I couldn't surrender to, right? There were things that I couldn't accept. Therefore, I wasn't going to give it 110%. And if you're not going to give it 110%, you're not going to succeed. I was always finding excuses why not to follow those things instead of finding reasons to follow it. Now, I learned a lot from my religion, and I carried certain principles from that religion with me, very much so. They anchor me to this day, but that was not enough to keep me in recovery. Then I tried philosophy, Eastern philosophy, Taoism, uh, all those different things, because I thought I could think my way through it. Then it wasn't about a deity, it was about being smart enough. But I couldn't do that either. In fact, being smart sometimes can be a detriment to recovery. I, I've never seen anybody too dumb to get recovery, but I've buried a lot of very smart people who thought they could think their way out of it. So if I couldn't think my way out of it, if I couldn't have, mystical, magical God remove it, if those principles weren't going to work, what was I going to do? And so I needed instructions. I'm the type of person that needs instructions to follow, right? And I needed to be able to keep them simple and apply them to my life on a daily basis. And that's where the steps come in. Now, the steps I can surrender to. They're very simple. It's like here, right now. I'm driving home on the road, right? There's guideposts, there's signage, there's different things. There's lines on the side of the road, right? Yellow and white, dividing the lanes, guardrails. All those things are there for a purpose. They're to direct me down the road. This is the direction you want to go, and in order to stay safe, you want to stay within these guidelines. That's all recovery is. That's all the 12 steps. Don't get hung up once again with the messenger, uh, with the verbiage, or because some people talk about God. God can just simply mean a group of drunks or a good orderly direction. It doesn't have to be a mystical, magical being that is moving us all around like a bunch of pawns on a giant 3D chessboard. That maybe if that works for you or you believe it, great. I'm not against it, but it didn't work for me, and it doesn't work for a lot of other people. I need clear, direct directions, right? And that's what I know I will make it home this afternoon if I just follow the signs, if I stay within the guidelines, if I follow the simple direction and set of rules that govern driving, right? Well, guess what? There's a simple set of rules that govern recovery. Now, not everybody agrees on what they are, and some people like to manipulate them and and change them, and others, um, are very strict and say they can't be broken, and it's okay. That's okay. There's traditions in the 12 steps, and 12th tradition always tells me to place principles before personalities, right? We're still people. Come on. Stop holding uh, the message hostage or disregarding the message once again because you don't like the messenger. You don't like the personality that happens to be presenting it to you. Especially now in today's age in 2026 when I'm recording this, right? There's never been a greater time to be in recovery. There's never been more options to go to different meetings than ever before. Even if you're in a small town, you can go online on Zoom and you can find meetings anywhere in the world, all kinds of meetings, specialty meetings, big book studies, whatever you want. Meetings that fit your purpose, meetings that uh, that help you, that fit your lifestyle. Throughout the years, I've helped people, and people have come to me. Well, I can't find a meeting I like that fits my schedule. Hey, then start a meeting because somebody somewhere else is just like you. They can't attend the meetings for whatever reason, and that is what's happened. And now we have Zoom because of COVID, because we couldn't get together. So we figure out how to do it online, and now it's a great asset to use. And that's what YouTube now has become. And social media, if used properly, these are more tools that we can use in our recovery. Well, hey, my friends, we're coming to the end of our drive. I'm almost home. So grateful that you stuck it out with me. I hope that you found this conversation useful. Please feel free to put in the comments what you thought. Please put any questions or ideas that you have on how it could be useful to you some more. What would you like to talk about? What challenges are you having in your recovery? I'm here to support you. So make it a good day. Be well, be safe, and always be good to yourself. Hey, it's Paulie. I'm out of here.